Once again, good morning. It's a real joy to stand up here and see your faces. I'm going to try not to get too distracted, though, because I do have something I want to talk to you about. I am a person who likes to play games. I always have, and I play a lot of games on the computer. And I have worried from time to time that maybe I'm playing too many games on the computer. I came across this book, not by accident, I know now, that's helped me understand my relationship with games and how they can help me. And I'm excited about the book and to share some of these things with you. I think they can help us as a church to grow in a fun way. I want to have more game nights like Letty had for us one time. It's a time for us to learn to get to know one another. I see you out there or across the room, and I don't know who you are, but games is a comfortable way to get together with one another and focus and learn some things and have a good time. We come here for different reasons. I mean, it's Sunday, so some of us just go to church because it's Sunday. Some people come because the snacks here are usually pretty good. I see a show of hands. We come to sing praises, and we're so blessed to have our music, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to live with the music man as well. So we come to learn, to have fun, but we come with a singleness of purpose, and that is we come to praise God, to glorify God. To that end, remember or know that we are all here by divine appointment. It's not a mistake that we're together. It's not a mistake that I found that book. And it is my prayer that you will hear something that will help you on your spiritual journey. We're all pilgrims. We all can think back to where we first had our first encounter with God, the stirrings in our heart and our soul that we know there's a real God. We all have that journey, and we're somewhere on the way to our way back home. The book that came into my hand, called SuperBetter, was about a woman who had suffered a trauma. We all have trauma in our lives from time to time. She was a game developer and had researched games and had been studying them for 10 years. So when she had a severe concussion that left her unable to think, and lights, she couldn't stand lights. She was in a lot of pain. It just disrupted her life totally. And she remembers the date that this happened. She had a revelation. And I know that I've had some revelations, and I know right where I was standing. Well, she knows right where she was when she realized this is either going to kill me or I'm going to make a game out of it. And so she turned that situation around and made a game out of it to improve her life. We know in Unity that we create our experience by what we choose to think and feel and believe. Well, we don't have to, the body in terms of healing doesn't know the difference between a victory, running a marathon or finding something on the floor that you were looking at. It's a victory. And the game creates that a challenge mindset. We want to develop a challenge mindset to life instead of a threat mindset. And don't you know, I always talk about the ego and spirit, and that's what I'm talking about now. People who have a threat mindset are fearful And the opposite of that is love. People with a challenge mindset are open to new experiences. They're empowered. I loved this book because it was full of research, things that they had proven, how little, just putting your palms up for 15 seconds puts you in a more receptive attitude. Many of us have experienced the Power of 8 groups where we stand in a circle, or at the end of the service, we stand in a circle and we hold hands. When you hold hands with somebody for 6 seconds, it stimulates oxytocin. It's this bonding hormone that brings us together. And you know how good it feels to hug someone you love and you just kind of melt into it. In adopting a gameful approach to life, you're going to be looking for those wins and finding ways to achieve them. You don't have to, the body doesn't know the difference between big things and little things, or the mind doesn't. We're always moving toward the prize. So this is my first chance to speak in 23, and I would like for us to make a New Year's resolution as a congregation. And I think that everybody wants to know God better. So let that be our goal for 1923, and we can use a gameful approach to achieve that. So Happy New Year. As we look to changing our lifestyle from one of a threat to one of opportunity, it's our attitude toward life. And we can use games and employ some of the rules for gaming that were designed. How many of you remember Dungeons and Dragons? I mean, I never played it, but did you hear about it? I heard about it, and I heard all of this horrible stuff about it was going to ruin our kids. And, you know, I mean, it was like there's some devil had interjected this thing into society, and I didn't know what to make of it. But one night I was over at a friend's house, and their sons, along with some other friends, were on the floor playing Dungeons and Dragons. And there were no witches in the room. There was nothing. What I saw was some young men collaborating, working together. They were solving problems together. I mean, it was, and I just thought from my little place, I didn't understand everything, but I saw that as a positive game. And they have proven that games, even ones that have violence in them, can help people become better, stronger, happier. It improves skills that they can use in life. I wasn't aware of all the benefits of games and how they could help us become more resilient. But this book gives me a whole bunch of quests. What I would like to do at some point is have a workshop and share the material with you. I encourage you to get the book. It will be a lot of fun. But I want to tell you about different ways that people deal with problems. The ones who have a threat mindset, when they're confronted with challenge, they often end, I'm thinking of wartime. You know how many people we have coming back from combat now with PTSD? That's a real issue. And they're working with games with PTSD people to discover that it's helping them, because games take your attention and help you refocus. They've also discovered that people who have a challenge mindset respond better to traumatic incidences, and they can experience what's referred to as post-traumatic growth. I had never heard of that concept, but listen to some of the 5 top things that result from post-traumatic growth. My priorities have changed. I'm not afraid to do what makes me happy. I feel closer to my friends and family. 3, I understand myself better. I know who I really am now. 4, I have a sense of meaning and purpose in my life. 5, I'm better able to focus on my goals and triumphs. Those are all good things, right? From having a gameful approach. Now, I want you to contrast this. I think it's very fascinating with the 5 top regrets of the people who are dying. 1, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. 2, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. 3, I wish I had let myself be happier. 4, I wish I'd had the courage to express my true self. 5, I wish I'd lived a life true to my dreams instead of what others expected me to be. Isn't it interesting that they are different? The author of this book, Jane McGonigal, fortunately did a little more research, and I found out another term, post-ecstatic growth. She found that you don't have to experience severe trauma to get the benefits of post-traumatic growth. Using this game approach, you can create challenges for yourself and take a game-like approach to solving them. What great fun. There are 7 ways of playing games that are engaging in life, that thinking and acting when we play games that are likely to contribute to post-traumatic growth or post-ecstatic growth. There's, okay, 1, adopt a challenge mindset. In gaming lingo, that's we accept the challenge to play. And I like this one too. You seek out whatever makes you happier and healthier. Healthy actions are in games, they call that power-ups. You strive for psychological flexibility. In a challenge mindset, you're open to negative experiences or failure. You know, sometimes the bad guy keeps popping up again and again, and you got to keep at him until you win, till you get better. So you battle the bad guys. We find those in this game mindset. 4, which is very important, take committed action. So if we as a church choose to take on the challenge of becoming closer to God, we need to be consistent, take little steps every day that will help us achieve our goal. So my quest is to know God, and it's a very fulfilling quest. Many of you in this room have become my allies in that quest. And I thank you for it. Number 5, in games, and you cultivate connectedness. It asks you to find at least 2 people that you can speak with honestly about whatever you're choosing to work on with your game. And in games, they call that making allies. I remember it's great to have somebody who has your back. And I remember the first time Neil said to me, "We'll figure it out." And it was like, oh, the weight of the world came off my shoulders. I really felt like somebody had my back, you know? And in games, we cultivate that, and we ask people, tell them what we're doing. We're working on this, and we want you to help us. And it works. Look through your life and find your heroic story. Look for the time that you saved the day. And I thought of a time in my life, and it's probably inappropriate because I wasn't praised for it. My mother was mortified, but I just thought I had really done something good. I caught a thief, and I took her home to her mother, and her mother wasn't impressed. Okay, so we all have heroic stories, and in games they abound. Think of superheroes. I don't know if I can't remember a superhero that I grew up with, especially, but I had to think of my girlfriend's boys when they were both Power Rangers. I mean, they were Power Rangers. They didn't walk; they leapt for about a year. And I know that made them stronger human beings somehow. Playing games is good. Okay. And 7 is to learn the skill of finding, of benefit finding. Sometimes things don't work out the way we want, but there's usually a silver lining, and we want to look for that. We want to look for the good. I know for many years, I didn't look for the good, and it was always there. So think all that time I wasted. So Jane developed this game to help her with her concussion, and she named it SuperBetter. And which is kind of an odd name. And she named it that because she didn't want to just get better. She wanted to get super better. And probably Concussion Crusher wouldn't have sold nearly as many people, because not everybody's had a concussion. But everybody can benefit from the art of playing games. Okay, so the game was simple. Adopt a secret identity. I think hers was Jane the Concussion Slayer. Recruit allies. She asked a friend to help her with some of her problems, and she eventually got other people involved. She recruited allies, she battled the bad guys, and activated power-ups. That's simple. So I'm reading this book, and I'm excited. There's something in here. I know this will work. This will translate into helping me. And I was also listening to a book about sleep at the time because I have an issue with sleep. So I thought, well, I'm going to try this game. I never had a secret identity, but I started listing some of the bad guys, some of the issues with sleep. One of them that I was learning from the tape I was listening to is the lights and this and that and the other. And I recruited Neil as my ally and to help with the lights and stuff. And one of the things that was keeping me awake at night is when I got up and I went back to sleep, I would be in my head about having to get up. And that would keep me up even longer. Well, I started when I went back to bed, I would take deep breaths and do power-ups, things that relax me. I mean, the game helped give me a strategy to work with what I was working with. So that was all I knew to start, was those three things. This is not all you're going to hear about SuperBetter. I'm going to be speaking next about healing, and I'm going to show some examples. I'm going to use this game to help get me out of my chair and, back out into the yard. And I may be asking you for your help. So please be my ally if I ask you. Okay. I have a 4 of 4 here. Perhaps you'd like to take a quest on your own before the next time. Feel free to contact me, and I'll help you find power-ups. There are things that make you feel better and stronger. For me, a power-up was standing up and taking a deep breath. The things, that's such a simple thing that we can do. And it does make us stronger every time we do one of these things. I'm grateful for that book coming into my life. I'm grateful for this church being in my life. And I'm going to tell you some of the things that I want you to remember. You're stronger than you know. You have the ability to control your attention and therefore your thoughts and feelings. You are surrounded by allies. You have the strength to find support in the most unexpected places and deepen your existing relationships. You are the hero of your own story. You have a natural capacity to motivate yourself and supercharge your heroic qualities like willpower, compassion, and determination. So as we go out from this place today, let us be determined to live a more gainful life in 2023. Develop an internal dialogue with the Holy Spirit. He is our constant ally and friend. Challenge yourself to grow spiritually and have fun. Thank you.